his first race in Sports 1000s for a little while. He's got Rich Miles next to him on the grid. Both of them very capable, both of them race winners in the past. Besides them, you've got the very rapid, driving his second season of racing in the Spire, number 42, Clint Newman, and number 2, Dan Clues, making it 2 Spires in the first two Mittels, I should say, in the first 2 races, and 2 Spires for that matter. And then you've got Ryan Yaro, who's the man that's looking for his 4th championship in Sports 1000s on the inside of row 3 in his Spire GT3 that he runs himself, besides number 72 Johnny McGill. We've also got Cup 200 points to look at and the Sporting Cup as well, but the race about to get underway. We've got the 5-second board being shown, and it's going to be a 20-minute race. Red lights going on and going out, and away we go, and it's a good start by Westmail. A lot of wheel spin from Rich Miles, it would seem, and that's allowed Clint Newman to come through from the second row of the grid and get ahead of him, but it's Westmail leading, and now it's Clint Newman having a look at the inside. Rich Miles trying to hold on to 3rd position as well as they turn their way through Redgate Corner for the first time. It's still Westmail ahead. It's Rich Miles trying to get 2nd place back from Clint Newman. He's done it as they go through Hollywood and down the Craner curves for the first time.
I think this might be Westmail's first race in anything this year, so see what he can do from there. It's been good starts from some of the Cup 200 drivers. I think Richard Webb from 11th on the grid is something like 6th or 7th as they turn their way down through the old hairpin. But Westmail getting away then from Miles and Newman, who had some great battles at Snetterton. That was last time out, wasn't it? No, they went to Alton in between. Some battles there. Paul Rogers is getting very close, up and personal there with one of the Cup 200 cars. He qualified much further down than he would like to, and what he is saying it will be his last weekend. A former champion in this category back in 2011. But here come the battlers, including Ryan Yaro, who are wondering if he's going to drive safe to win this championship or if he's going to go out with a good result.
I'm sure he'd like both to happen, really. He'd like to get a good result out of it, but equally he doesn't want to do anything that could jeopardise his hopes. Clint Newman and Dan Clues, the drivers that could mathematically pass him in the championship before the weekend is out, but he'll be keen for that not to happen. Having said that, he's about to try and challenge Clint Newman for 3rd place here. Got Dan Clues behind him, and Rich Miles has run wide even and Goddard. He's lost 2nd position to Newman, given Chippy Westmail a bigger lead now. He's going to get back alongside Clint Newman, the postman from the West Country, as they head along the Wheatcroft Straight, but it's going to be Newman that holds on, then Miles, then Yarrow, who will win the championship in 2020, 21 and 2023. And then in 5th position, it is Dan Clues.
So Newman there in 2nd. He was a winner at Snetterton. Then you've got Rich Miles, who's had 3 wins this year, and Ryan Yarrow, who has had 5. There have been 6 winners this year. We could get 7 with Chippy Westmail leading the way. But Miles and Yarrow are wheel to wheel, and Yarrow swoops around the outside in towards McLean's. Rich Miles seems to be making a few mistakes, doesn't he? He's about to lose another place to Dan Clues. He's on his inside as they go into Coppice. Can't quite get there. There's our Cup 200 lead, although he doesn't show us a Cup 200 car on the timing screen, but it certainly is one. Richard Webb, he's ahead of Mike Whiteman Hayward, who is trying to win the championship in Cup 200. He's ahead of his rival John Cutmore as Dan Clues completes the move on Miles for 4th.
So it does. So we've also got the Sporting Cup for the drivers that haven't had top finishes in the main Sports 1000 Championship. Charlie Sladden leads Colin Chapman and Johnny McGill in that particular competition at the moment as well. But here are the cars that are chasing after Chippy Westmail, the 2019 champion, who continues to lead this race, led by 1.4 seconds at the end of the opening lap. There, so you can see Colin Chapman ahead of Charlie Sladden there, so that could be important in the Sporting Cup. And then just behind you've got the 88 car of Richard Webb. That is an MK Indy with a higher booster engine, so a larger engine capacity than the cars in the main Sports 1000 traditional championship.
Got Whiteman, Hayward and Cutmore together, the 2 championship rivals in Cup 200, as Chris Wilkinson's gone for a spin at the final corner. But here they are, 2 championship protagonists in Cup 200. There's not that much between them either in the points. On total scores, Whiteman, Hayward ahead by 6, but after dropped, I think Cutmore ahead by 6.
Okay, I'll look at my spreadsheet in a moment. I've got something different to that. but we'll come back to that.
It's close anyway.
It is close between them, and it could go either way in the championship with this weight race and one more tomorrow to go. They'll have their final round of the championship tomorrow morning. Double header here this weekend. Did I see Chippy Wesmail not leading there? Yes, I did. He's down to third place. Now, I don't know how that's happened.
They were catching him actually on the last lap.
But Clint Newman and Ryan Yaro have both gone through to 36. So I think Wesmail must have made a bit of a mistake there to lose both of those positions, or possibly, yes, I think both of those positions. So they must have made a mistake, I would have thought.
Yeah, Newman was only 2 tenths behind at the start of the lap and a lot quicker. So Wesmail's dry pace is not what his wet pace was in qualifying. They're going 13 seconds quicker than they went in the wet this morning in qualifying. Yaro's twitchy there, coming into the final corner, but Clint Newman going away up front in the Spire, looking for his second win of the season. Yaro is second, looking for the championship. And then Wesmail in third, a gap back to Dan Clues, who's involved in a battle with Rich Miles. Well, 1:38.4, new fastest lap, aimshop.com fastest lap for Ryan Yaro. But now that Wesmail sort of gathered himself, he's seemingly going with them. So it's free for the lead down towards the old hairpin.
I do agree with you, by the way, in your summation of the Cup Mole versus Whiteman Hayward battle in the Sporting Cup. I'm going to revisit my spreadsheet. Anyway, we've got a race on our hands for the lead of the Nanking Thai Sports 1000 Championship here. It's Clint Newman leading, Ryan Yaro, the champion-elect, second, and Chippy Wesmail in third. The three of them covered by less than a second, I should think, as they come out of McLean's. They've been chased by Dan Clues and Rich Miles as well. They're turning their way through Coppice now, through that double apex. Right-hander on this circuit is improving in track conditions all the time. Laptop record is a 1:36.48. Best lap of the race so far, 1:38.47. So about a couple of seconds off the record set by Scott Mittell back in October 2015, 9 years ago. A very long established lap record in the Sports 1000s, when it was known as RGB still back in those days. Down to the Melbourne hairpin they go, and it's Clint Newman still leading then, Ryan Yaro in second place, Chippy Wesmail in third. Clint's had one victory already this season. He's been 8 times on the podium. Ryan Yaro's had 5 wins, also 8 times on the podium altogether during the course of this season. And this round 13 of the championship, and it's Newman, Yaro, Wesmail losing a little bit of ground, if anything, on that lap.
But the car behind are catching as Dan Clues sets the fastest lap, 1:38.301 in his Mattel. So these top 5 are very evenly matched, 3 seconds between them, and it sort of ebbs and flows who has the pace, interestingly. But it's Clint Newman that leads. Ryan Yaro, I think where he is would be fine for the championship, but he would like another race victory, as would all the drivers around him as they climb the hill. Wesmail the first half of the lap at least in, coming back to the top 2.
Yeah, and getting away from the next 2 is right with them up at McLean's then is Chippy Wesmail. So it's a Spire leading, it's Spire second, and Mittell's third and fourth for Wesmail and Dan Clues, then another Spire fifth for Rich Miles, and we're going to get them almost alongside for the lead, are we, on the exit of Coppice? Not quite, but Yaro right in the slipstream here. He dives out of Clint Newman's toe now, goes to the right hand side of the circuit, which is where there's plenty of dryness, plenty of grip, but it's Newman that manages to hold on through the Fogarty as they go. Newman seems to be faster through that part of the circuit, and Wesmail getting on terms with Yaro.
Yeah, if you're side by side with the S's as they were, you compromise each other so much, and that has brought Wesmail and Clues in the Mattells closer to the 2 Spires again. They climb over the crest there and up towards Goddard's that completes the lap, and then accelerate to the line with 42 then. Clint Newman leading. He did of course have 2 wins at Snetterton on the road, but had a false start in one of the races, had just the one official victory, but this time it's the car at the back of the group that's got the fastest lap. Rich Miles, 1:38.056, which was half a second quicker than the leader, but less than that, quicker than some of those ahead of him.
Yeah, and that, for context, is 15 seconds faster than he went in qualifying this morning. So that shows how much conditions have improved since then.
Interestingly, Sladden, also in the 38, has got past Colin Chapman.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So that's him looking strong for success in the Sporting Cup after drop scores. There was only 4 points between them coming into this race. And Westmail there challenging Ryan Yaro. Now Yaro doesn't really want to get drawn into something that he doesn't need to here. Having said that, he's going to go for the lead. But it could easily end with a bit of contact, and some contact could lead to damage, and damage could lead to you not being able to start in race 2 either. So Yaro just needs a solid finish here to secure the championship, and now he's driving on the wet line down towards the Fogarty S's. Sounds like probably not the best of ideas. He's lost a few lengths on Newman as a result of that, but it again puts him back into the clutches of Westmail as they are navigating their way around lap 6.
Yarrow would look into the inside. We're getting some good races this afternoon, aren't we? And this is absolutely another. The Nankang Tyre Sports 1000 Championship has a 5-car lead battle heading up towards Goddard. Westmail jinking around, trying to get past Ryan Yarrow, but he can't quite make that work. A load of oversteer there from Westmail as he tries to put the power on. That little battle's allowed Clint Newman a small breather. Miles at the back of the group, again it's the fastest, so there's 1.8 seconds between 5 cars. I think this is some of the closest sports prototype racing you'd find anywhere in the world, Ian.
Certainly is, and again it's the driver at the back of the group, Rich Miles, but still another fastest lap, 1:38.01, just chipping a few more hundredths off the fastest lap that time through. Down they go through the corner curves and the old hairpin things. 5 covered by less than 2 seconds at the start of the lap, but it's a spin into the gravel for Chippy Westmail from 3rd place. He's trying to see if he can get the car continuing, but I think that might be a struggle. He's out of 3rd place, and that means the gap has opened up between the first pair of cars and now the second pair of cars disputing 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, that's right. So a big gap between Yarrow and Clue. So Ryan Yarrow can focus on going forwards if he can make it. Meanwhile, in Cup 200, Richard Webb is 7 seconds ahead of John Cutmore, who is 3.7 ahead of Mike Whiteman-Hayward. So points-wise, Cutmore gaining on Whiteman-Hayward in that battle, which will go to tomorrow. Through the S's comes Dan Clues, then in 3rd with that bigger gap ahead to try and chase down Clint Newman and Ryan Yarrow, who are still in that order. It's all a little bit spread out, isn't it, from saying how close it was to the start of the lap. And with that car off, we need a safety car to recover Chippy Westmail's car. So hopefully we'll get some more racing and the top 4 will be brought back together.
Yeah, 8.5 minutes of the race left when that safety car was called. Again, hopefully it won't be too long a disruption, but it's now going to be Clint Newman that has to control the pack as the Megane will pick them up there. The marshals are sprinting off to Westmail's car, which is only just off the edge of the circuit at the exit of the old hairpin, so you can see why it does need to be recovered. The snatch vehicle will be en route to the scene to quick that car out, hopefully without taking too much time over it.
Charlie Sladden will be with the top 4, and his best lap is sort of on par with the leaders. So can Charlie Sladden make anything of this restart, I wonder? He's had a better result of 4th this season. Obviously, if he goes better than that, he'll fall out of Sporting Cup contention.
Yes, exactly. If you have a podium finish during the course of the season, you're no longer included in the Sporting Cup reckoning. So that's one of those things. Would you rather have the Sporting Cup success, or would you rather have an overall podium? I don't know. Yes, Charlie Sladden's had a good season, really, I'd say. Generally, his first season in this car, he's where is he in the standings? 7th, I think, overall, isn't he? Coming into this weekend, he's certainly settled into this Mittal much more readily, hasn't he? The ex-Danny Andrew car than he did the ex-Tim Hovard Sabre TTI that he raced last season. He's got onto it, got on with it a lot better, I think, and as Josh says here, setting some competitive lap times, and just still learning. Only his 3rd full season of racing. Just looking at Cup 200 to say, Richard Webb is leading that from John Cutmore and Wyman Hayward. Richard Webb's car not showing on screen as a Cup 200 car. He has been out in a Sports 1000 car this season as well, in one of the Spires, which is probably just a hangover from that when it's in a different class.
It doesn't affect what points Cutmore and Whiteman could get anyway.
No, exactly.
So from that, it's not confusing at all.
No, because the points are scored based on their overall categorisation. It's not a separate class point system for Cup 200, which is interesting.
So Cutmore being ahead of Whiteman is good. He'll have to repeat, or doesn't have to repeat it, he'll have to be within a few places tomorrow. Whiteman Haywood should be able to pick up the championship. And of course, for John Cutmore, he's been an RGB class champion so many times. So he'll have a class championship oh dear, what you add into all of that?
What was Ryan Yaro doing there? I can't begin to explain that.
Well, it's Clint Newman jumping on the brakes. I wonder.
Well, I don't know. I thought it looked more like Yaro was accelerating towards him, I don't know.
Newman seems to keep dropping away from the safety car, which he shouldn't really be doing.
No.
And I wonder what that's catching Ryan Yaro out.
Yeah.
So don't think our lights have gone out at all, have they?
I didn't think so. Now the cars are heading up towards us. There's Sladden, and then behind Sladden you've got Johnny McGill in the number 72 car there, the Spire, the sort of black and blue car. It's raced for several seasons now. Safety car lights are still on. Safety car's still very much out there. Going to do probably one more lap.
Yeah, look, Clint Newman accelerates and then brakes, which isn't really what you should be doing behind the safety car. And I think that's what.
I agree with that.
And that's what caught Ryan Yaro out, I reckon, coming out of the S's.
Yes.
Yeah, look, is Ryan waving his arms about there? I think perhaps not particularly happy with what's going on.
Well, yeah, I can imagine that's probably the case. Right, the 29 car is being pulled out of the way, still with Chippy Wesmail aboard it. I think we'll only get one more lap at the end of this.
I think it's a bit heavier now than what it was.
It was. There's a large amount of MSV gravel aboard the Mittal now.
Who needs a spade?
Exactly, great digger. Yeah, it's only one lap we get, won't it, at most, assuming that the safety car goes in at the end of this lap, because there's already 4 minutes or so to go.
No, so the problem was earlier down the old hairpin was getting the snatch tractor back behind.
Yes.
Do you not have to stay within 5 car lengths of the safety car?
That's supposed to be the guidance, yes. Something like that.
See, Richard Webb's still got the number plate on his Cup 200 cars that, and he's still got the lights too, so fully road legal Cup 200 MK Indy, the manufacturer based in Braintree and Essex. Great little 7-esque sports cars, really quick cars. And we saw them go so well at the Burkitt Relay, of course, last year, where they finished 4th overall on scratch, and the Burkitt coming up in 2 weeks, which will be live streamed here on 1050 Quid Club TV and on Alpha Live, and that will be a great event, I'm sure.
It will. We're looking forward to that. 6-hour relay race, oversubscribed. Lots of gravel to be distributed all around the circuit there. Yes, 70 teams there will be for the Burkitt Relay. 2 weeks today. A late flurry of entries, and now I think there's a bit of a waiting list as well, such as the interest in the Burkitt Relay. And after that, the day after that, we've got another race meeting, which is the More Championship Finals, 5 more categories racing there on the Sunday, with the various championships coming towards their conclusion on the national circuit this year, rather than the Grand Prix circuit we had last year. That means it's going to be on the national circuit this year.
Particularly if it's dry, which I know is quite a big question. That could be some thrilling championship deciders, couldn't it? Particularly Mazda 7s come to mind, which will be perfect cars to race on the national track at Silverstone, which always creates great racing.
Right, safety car lights I think probably are out now, so it is now for Clint Newman to set the pace, as it were. How long have we got? 2:17.
You're not supposed to slow once you've accelerated.
No. So he's way behind the safety car. There may or may not be words after this. 2:06. We might just squeeze 2 laps. I think we probably are going to squeeze 2 laps out of this. He has now gone.
Well, oh dear.
Oh dear. That's not gone well. That has not gone well.
You could see what was
Rich
coming.
Miles had little choice there but to overtake, unfortunately, and he'll probably get a penalty for that, but he had little or no choice. Green flag waves, Rich Miles leads, Clint Newman second, Ryan Yaro third, Dan Clues in fourth, and then it's Charlie Sladden in fifth.
Ryan, you don't want to get involved in this, I don't think.
No, he's up the inside there. He's still trying to find a way through up at the inside. Is Ryan Yaro to get past Clint Newman, but he's not yet been able to do so. But he only needs to finish 7th, remember, to wrap up the championship.
He doesn't want to get any penalty points and an exclusion or anything. So
exactly, just head down, Ryan, carry on. Rich Miles, leave him to it. He's not contending for the championship. He's not done all of the races this season, hasn't Rich Miles, but he has been quick when he has been out.
And more contact. This is getting very messy.
Oh, and they're both off the road. Yaro is off onto the grass. Clint Newman continues. Yaro has now got damage to his car and he's dropped behind Dan Clues. And I'm not sure any of this was really required. Anyway, it's Rich Miles leading. It's Clint Newman second. It's Dan Clues up to third place. Now he's challenging for second. Down the inside into Fogarty. Yes, it looks like there's going to be more side-to-side contact. And now there's more contact, and it's Clint Newman straight off over the curbs, and it's going to be Yaro that's back through on the inside to pass both of them. Yaro back to second, Dan Clues third, Clint Newman down to fourth.
And the most ridiculous driving I think we've seen for a long time, I'm afraid. And yeah, Clint Newman's going to be in race control for many, many things. Yeah, carry on.
Sideways again. It's meanwhile Rich Miles continuing to lead us 1.8 seconds to the good at the start of the lap. There's Clint Newman, number 42, the TGM run. Spire, but it's Miles leading, and there will be
we get another lap, don't we?
One more lap to go. 7 seconds to go as they cross the line. Yaro second, third is Dan Clues, fourth is Clint Newman, fifth is Charlie Sladden, sixth is Johnny McGill, seventh is Paul Rogers on his last weekend, eighth is Carl Austin. Colin Chapman lost a couple of places on that lap. He's dropped back down to ninth, and it's Dan Ashby completing the top 10. Rich Webb still leading in Cup 200, although he did lose a place to Goodwin, Mark Goodwin on that last lap.
Good luck to Matt Suckling for what's for the people who's about to speak to, who knows what the result's going to be, I think, after this. But Rich Miles, as you say, he had no choice really. What he did, and we'll see if he ends up as a race winner or not. But yeah, there is Clint Newman in what is fourth position at the moment. But Charlie Sladden, Rich Miles has got a track limit penalty now.
And that's a 5-second penalty. That is going to drop him back to fourth place.
Charlie Sladden might end up on the podium here.
He could well do, and that's going to put him out of Sporting Cup contention, even though he might not get a third place on the road.
What a race Paul Rogers is having, from 15th on the grid. He's up to 7th.
Yeah, great drive this from Paul Rogers, the 2011 champion when he was driving the Contour. But we've only got a few corners to go now. It's still Rich Miles leading on the road, but with a 5-second track limit penalty to contend with. Not sure where he's been reaching track limits. We've kind of missed all of that during the course of this race going on. You've got Clint Newman catching Dan Clues and Ryan Yaro. Ryan Yaro is about to head through the Goddard hairpin to take what will be second place on the road. It will be a race win once Rich Miles' penalty has been applied. Rich Miles takes the checkered flag. Ryan Yaro is going to get the win. He's going to wrap up the championship provisionally, and Charlie Sladden is into the pits as well for what could have been a podium. So it's Yaro, Clues, Newman, Rich Miles 4th, Carl Austin 5th, Paul Rogers 6th, Colin Chapman 7th, Daniel Ashby 8th, Mark Goodwin 9th, Richard Webb is 10th.
And Mike Whiteman-Hayden ahead of John Cutmore in the Cup 200 division.
Where is...
Oh, is that... Oh, no, it's another car that looks like Cutmore's. Apologies.
Yeah, no, okay. Cutmore...
Cutmore... Normally they're all white Cup 200 cars, so that confused me. John Cutmore is ahead, so Wayne Armstrong's got a replica livery of John Cutmore's car that tricked me, so apologies for that.
Yes. So they all managed to make it home, apart from Charlie Sladden there, who ended up heading into the pits. There'll be lots to do in race control and possibly even Stewart's office after that. But for the moment, the result is number 54, Ryan Yaro, the race winner, and provisionally the Sports 1000 champion. Second to number 2, Dan Clues. Third to number 42, Clint Newman. Fourth to 24, Rich Miles, after a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits was applied. Fifth to number 44, Carl Austin. Sixth was 43, Paul Rogers, from 15th on the grid. Seventh, number 63, Colin Chapman. Eighth, number 33, Dan Ashby. Ninth, number 20, Mark Goodwin. 10th, number 88, Richard Webb. Charlie Sutton showing 11th, although he didn't cross the finish line. He was into the pit lane. 11th, number 28, Charlie Sladden. 12th, number 98, John Cutmore. 13th, 69, Ian Hutchinson. 14th, 72, Johnny McGill. So it was Richard Webb and John Cutmore, and then third, Mike Whiteman-Haywood in the Cup 200 cars. There he was, 15th overall, ahead of Charles Wright, Wayne Armington, Alex Deloro, John Murphy, Chris Wilkinson, Steve Medina, and Chippy Westbound, having been stranded in the record trap at the old hairpin. The Sports 1000 cars are back tomorrow morning. They'll be out at around about 10 past 11. 5 more races to come this afternoon. We're going single-seater races for the next 2 races, in actual fact, with Sam Pelmet's Formula V Championship coming up next. Then we've got F1000, and then we have 3 more categories that we've already seen once today: the 5 Club MX5 Cup, the Radical Bike Sports Championship, and the 116 Sprint Trophy and 120 Coupe Cup. But we'll have the Formula V's out very shortly. Josh, that was a crazy race, wasn't it?
It's such a shame how it went after the safety car, because before the safety car there was some great racing. after the safety car, some other stuff happened, which is, if nothing else, it's made the YouTube chat come alive.
Okay, well, red mist has certainly descended, I think, in front of 1 or 2 drivers there, which was unfortunate because, as you said, Josh, it was a great race up until that point.
We had, 5 cars separated by less than 2 seconds in that first section of laps.
It's all Chippy Westman's fault, really, isn't it? For spinning off into the gravel and bringing about that safety car. He was the third of those 5 cars when that happened. It split the pack. The pack came back together. And and really underneath the safety car was when it all started, sort of 6 or 7 minutes from the end of that race. Matt's down in...
hopefully Matt's got his armour on.
He's an experienced pro, is Matt Suckling. He'll know exactly what to do in these situations. He'll have a word with,
run away.
with our top 3. Never. Matt's not one to run away. He's getting ready down in pit lane, ready to talk to the drivers.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be like Judge Rinder down here, but we have Ryan Yaro, and Ryan, I think that's enough for you to wrap up the championship. Congratulations. How was the race, though?
Terrible. The worst race I've ever taken part of. It's an absolute disgrace. I haven't got much to say, to be honest. So, yeah.
It's a real shame. Putting that aside, as we said, it is the championship for you provisionally, so it's been a year of hard work which has come to this, which is good for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a bit perplexed by what I've just experienced. It's obviously not how I wanted to do it. I was quite happy following, second would have been fine, but obviously when there's an overtake on, but I don't want to say anything that I can't take back on camera, so...
No, that's fair enough. And the car, is that okay? I know you've sustained some damage for that incident as well.
It seems to be, but I'll have to have a proper look. Don't know.
Well, good luck for tomorrow. Thanks, Ryan, for that one. So he picks up the victory. Let's have a